So today, I've just refactored some of the enemy logic for these little critters. I call them ratipedes, centipede rats. And so I'll just quickly show you. So I'll open up a game here, and they're following me, right? And you can see player is in range. I go out of range. If I come here, if we wait a little bit, it jumps, right? So the way I did that was I have a bunch of areas set up with collision mesh, and here I've got the follow area with the collision mesh in it, and that's the biggest box that you can see. So whenever the player is inside that range, it will start it will set this inside follow range, and it'll set should follow to be true. If you have a look, here, should follow. If should follow and the ratipede is greater distance away from the attack distance, which means the enemy will follow the player, and then when he gets close, he'll stop and attack the player. So then if you're fighting the enemy, it's not just like constantly moving around. Obviously you'll put a pattern in for some sort of dancing like boxing posture sort of thing that they have in these games, but for now it's going to stop and attack you. And I'm just going to zoom out a little bit more so you can see. Bring this down a bit, maybe. Oh, I can't. Okay, small screen. So I've got this should act logic, and down here I have the follow player logic. I'll get to the should act later. Sorry, confusing you. So we've got the follow player, which gets the follow range over here, and if it finds an overlapping body as player, it'll set it as should follow player, and then I'm running that in the physics process setting if it should follow the player, and if it should follow and it's not already attacking the player, then it will look at the player and move towards the player. What I've also done is added this should act, and what this does is it stops the player from like jumping on a stair, and then the monster is just doing nothing for ages. Let's see if I can pull this guy down, aggro this guy. If I go here, right, I'm still in the attack range, and it's slowly moving towards me, but when it gets to the should act, it'll jump. So theoretically, I'm still in the attack range. It should be able to jump onto the next stair if the collision box is small enough. I need to tweak the collision boxes, but essentially that's the idea, that it will like jump over areas if the player is high enough. And I had some tests with this area here and the area up here as well, where it would actually just jump. It takes a while. I'm in the range. I'm in the attack range. Yeah, so if it's in the attack range, it's not going to jump. So this might be a bad example, this one, but yeah, the stairs. There you go. So it's not perfect, but for now it's pretty good. In the 3D, yeah, you can see that the range area there, and they also have an attack range area, which is a very small area in front, and if it's inside the attack range area it won't follow, but if it's inside the follow range, it will try and find the player. And this was because I've got multiple enemies on the stage, and you don't really want all the enemies on the stage constantly walking towards you. You want to walk into their sort of vision cone, so to speak. So if I do this level, normally jumpy jump, here we go, and I do the door. So now that the other one's not going to follow me because I'm nowhere near its range, and these ones, it's going to start looking for me. And if I jump on this barrel, it's going to eventually try and jump up and get me. Like that, right? I had them in the same loop before, like attack and jump, but I've now separated it into these sort of variables, and I'm going to have basically this bestiary here of the different the attack frequency and the act frequency, like how often it will try and jump and how often it will I guess perform different actions if I have more complicated enemies. Yeah, that's mainly what I've worked on today. It's pretty nice when I'm not recording my screen. It works pretty nice. But yeah, I hope that's helpful, and I hope that sort of system makes sense to you, having these overlapping bodies and getting an enemy to follow them. If you want to freeze the code, you can freeze the video and watch the code. But yeah,